Guys, if you enjoyed the content, please thunder punch that follow button. It's free to you. It means a lot to me. I don't know if you guys... I don't even know who the hell still won. I don't know who the hell still won. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now that I think that they dragged the end of that game out. They dragged that game out at the end. Saw the trailer for Rings at the cinema last night. Couldn't help but think Samara was on YouTube. She'd be begging for likes, shares, and subscribes. Oh my god. By finishing the game, you unlock a Madhouse difficulty, and that gun at the end you got is in your chest. Is it like unlimited ammo, zombie? Guys, I'll tell you, that's probably one of the best horror games I ever played. Layers of Fear was its own piece still. I think Layers of Fear really hit it out of the park with the first game in terms of psychological horror. This was just sheer horror. This was just horror. I love it. Let's skip this movie. I wonder if there's something at the end of these credits. We'll skip the movie. We'll skip it. Yeah, skip the movie. Look, we keep skipping the movie and stuff. Playtime. Wow, look at that, guys. Didn't even notice it. Didn't even think about it. They said 8 to 9 hours. We got this done in 9 hours and 8 minutes. Holy shit, guys. I thought we were like 10 hours into this game. Look at that. 9 hours and 8 minutes. I guess with a little bit of pausing and stuff that we did there and the few breaks that we did. 11 out of 18 antique coins. Mr. Everywhere is destroyed. I destroyed many bobbleheads at all. This difficulty, the difficulty for the save data. Okay. There it is. Item, the Secrets of Defense will be added to your item box. The Secrets of Defense. Additional free content. Not a Hero coming spring 2017. Wow. Resident Evil 4 was better? I don't know, man. Hey, Fenrir. Get it, Grandpa. Let me just say that I think for this being the first Resident Evil game that I play, and I can't like sit here and shit on any other Resident Evil game, especially when it comes to nostalgia and things like that, like people liking different games. I can only speak on this one, and I found this to be absolutely fantastic. And I think a very necessary reboot on the series. Because, don't get me wrong, I know you said Resident Evil 4 was better. I couldn't even get into that, Ghetto Grandpa, because, and I was trying on the Wii, because you couldn't program the controls. It's like somebody dropped the ball on that one, and it just didn't, you know, it didn't close the deal for me. Dude, this milk is going to be warm. Oh, man. Is that okay to drink, like, room temperature milk? Can you get sick off of that? You know what? It tastes like kind of like half and half. Suplex is delivered in Resident Evil. None. So, yeah, I finished Resident Evil. That was the whole game right there. Yep, I just played the whole entire game in one setting. The start of the game was very, very rough for me. I was suffering through a panic attack. I believe a mild lingering panic attack. It just wouldn't go away, and my stomach, my whole core of my body just wouldn't let loose. And I was quiet there for probably the first, believe it or not, like probably half the game. I was knotted up pretty bad. And I really can't explain it, but my anxiety was really through the roof for some reason. I totally attribute it to the game. Like putting you in that environment and to make that as real as it did, I was blown away. Down to, you know, you having to hide from that one of the bakers at the beginning, like the father or whatever, and then right after that having to deal with Mia with a chainsaw. Or, well, actually, I had to deal with Mia with a chainsaw first, then it was the father, and then it was the father with the chainsaw. It was all just like this whole spectrum of just anxiety, just this level of anxiety that you couldn't escape. So I think that the game started leveling out for me when we started dealing with the mother and the whole bees and shit like that, and you know, bugs. That was still a very good level. Like, that boss fight there at the end really surprised me. I think that the AI in this game is second to none. Very, very good AI. And I love the fact that the cover that you found, the NPCs couldn't capture where you were at. Like, if you were hiding behind a piece of wood or something like that, the AI would look past you. It wouldn't just automatically identify you and move on. It was very, very well crafted, especially for the story. There was one time that we had a bug. Ironically, we had a bug with the bugs, with the mosquitoes, where they weren't coming through the door properly. But beyond that, this game was very, very well polished. Very, very well polished. The one thing that kept drawing me back to this, like my feeling of anxiety, was the fact that this is so lifelike and so real looking. The only thing that you can compare it to is the PT trailer, and it's a whole game of PT trailers, and like a full 8-hour game of that. And don't get me wrong, I'll actually drop back to say it was more like a 4-hour game of that, and that was like a 4-hour game of filler, is what it felt like to me. So when you got to the point with the boat and things, I like the fact that they continued the story. I do appreciate that they continued the story, because you wouldn't have gotten closure on it. But I just think that it was, man, I don't want to say that it was rushed, but it just felt way too lengthy. This is bad for a Resident Evil game? I disagree, man. 9+ hours. I got done in, well, it was a 10-hour stream, but I got done in 9 hours, and I've been streaming right now for, let me look here, 10 hours and 25 minutes. And it said in game that I completed the game in 9 hours and 8 minutes. So I know that there's going to be some DLC. I did not buy the deluxe edition of this. I probably will buy the deluxe edition. It's freaking crazy. Guys, it's freaking crazy. No, like I said, I really did enjoy this. I like the reboot. I like them going from that whole third person to first person and painting the story out that way. It was very digestible. Like if you were to play this on your own time without streaming, I think it would be very, very digestible. Even the filler at the end. Just to give you more context. But for me, when it came to the other Resident Evil games, I don't know if I just couldn't get into the third person. Maybe it's too old. I don't know. I think that the 2 chances I gave the old Resident Evil games, like the Resident Evil HD remake, that's definitely made for people with nostalgia. Resident Evil 4, for me, like I said, the whole mechanics with the controllers was pretty bad. I think Resident Evil 5, that was about the same there as well, but I think you could at least change your controls around. They really used the Resident Evil name to get the name of the production company out, calling different title next game. It's effectively a reboot. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's a reboot, or at least a whole new story in the same universe. Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 ain't like 4, 5, and 6. Now they making different type of game again. There are distinct different types of Resident Evil games. Well, then I'm glad that I got a breadth of, playing Resident Evil 1 and Resident Evil 4. Like, I got the breadth of the beginning of both of those games now. And I liked it. I let me put it this way. I didn't like it. I appreciated it. I appreciated my playthrough of 1. And I didn't play through the whole game. I played through some of it and I just got bored. And 4 was the same way. Like, as soon as I knew that I couldn't do, like, the controls or anything like that, it was just kind of shitty. But then again, I wasn't really feeling it anyway. It wasn't horror for me. I don't know why. It just wasn't horror. This for me was unadulterated horror. This puts this puts down a bar. This sets a bar for horror games. The way that they're supposed to look and everything. This sets a bar, including like Layers of Fear. Layers of Fear looked really, really good too. Very simplistic, psychological horror. Played with your mind. I loved it. I loved it. First time is a puzzle horror, second is action, third is this. Like I said, I just felt like it was I felt like it was a good mashup of horror and then getting into action. Like at the end of the game, it wasn't really horror, I would say, but it put you in a more tense situation. It wasn't really horror though. To be honest, I never viewed Resident Evil as horror. I think the start of this game was definitely had some horrific tendencies to it. Try 4 with the PS2 controller. The controls are kind of bad, but the game lets you get away with it. Okay. Ghetto Grandpa, if I ever find a copy of it for the PS2, I know I got a PS2, I'll have to pick it up and try it out. Dude, I'm very, very pleased with this game. I can't say enough good about it. I can't say enough good about it. The only critique, like I said, is the end of the game. But then again, I reluctantly to say that because it did add closure to the game. Interesting enough, though, is them bringing back a Chris Redfield at the end, though, and him dropping out of the helicopter. That is interesting. I don't know where they're going to take that. Fenrir, why do you say that, though? This is bad for a Resident Evil game. How do you feel about it, man? Who's all in here? Guys, let's get a roll call. Let's get an AWU in chat. Can we do that? Let me, for all the people that are in here, let me edit this. Let me bring this volume up for you guys. 75. Yeah, that's about right. There we go. All right, there. We got volume. We got volume on the AWU command now. If you guys are even lurking, just say hi. Just say AWU. Holy shit, we got a lot of people in here. My God. There we go. Yeah, bring it back. Bring it back. I want to play this in VR. I think, you know what, at first I wasn't going to play it in VR because my body didn't feel right when I started playing this game. Like, it really didn't feel right. And I think the reason being is because I was truthfully about, well, Layers of Fear kind of came at a weird time in terms of games. I don't want to say it came at a weird time. It came at its own time. But in terms of when we had that bulk streaming... Yeah, there we go. I love it, guys. Thank you, thank you, Saito. Thank you, Zombie. Deadly Sap. Kadar. Dr. Panda. Pit Fiend. Hell yeah, guys. Hell yeah. Layers of Fear kind of came at a weird time because it wasn't with, like, the bulk of every other horror game that I was playing. But that kind of spread it out a little bit. It made it nice, especially with the breakup of Diablo streams and stuff. But the one thing I got to say about that is Layers of Fear was probably what was that, like 4 months ago, I would say? 4 months ago? And then all the other horror games were about 3 months before that. So that, like, ran smack dab in the center. It was a good taste. But it has been a country minute since we did a horror stream like this, to this caliber, outside of Outlast 2. I think Outlast 2 is kind of a misnomer because it was a demo. But to do a horror game like this of this magnitude and be so far out of it for so long, it really brought me back in. And you know, we got to showcase the heart monitor in a very, very good way, in a very solid way. It doesn't lie. It doesn't lie at all. I was going through some rough times there at the beginning, but that's what I'm saying. The whole acclimation of getting back into horror games and stuff, or getting back into this horror game, was quite difficult. I thought I was going to be able to edge it pretty good. I wasn't able to edge it at all. That shit was rough for me. That shit was rough. I'm curious to see some of the DLC and how it sheds more light on the story. There's still a few gaps in the full picture. What are you seeing there, Saito? What are you thinking is what's necessary? What do you think's missing? Well, I'm happy that you liked it. I didn't like it. It doesn't feel the same. Oh, okay. So you're more about nostalgia on that than Fenrir? Okay. Playing now is different, but back in the day, the game was horror. Okay. Resident Evil 1 on the PS1 when it came out was horror for sure. You know, and it's so weird as you go through games, and then you go back and you revisit them later on, the graphics look so bad. And I don't know why that is, but the graphics look so horrible compared to games. When I went back and saw Diablo 2, I could not believe how poor that game looked compared to Diablo 3. And I'm not saying, like, don't get me wrong, I mean, 14 years does a game a long time, but to see the advancement in, you know, like, just graphics and things like that. Even Warcraft 3, that blew my mind. You go back to Warcraft 3, I don't want to say it's not playable, but it's just so grainy, and you, I don't know, I just can't go back and play that game anymore. It just didn't hold the test of time well. But I think this game's going to showcase that eventually as well. I think you're going to look back on this in 6 years and be like, holy shit, did I really think that game looked like real life? And there's going to be like games out there that look like you're freaking sitting in your computer room. Is this one set in 2012? No, this one's not set in 2012. It's got to be pretty recent. I think it's probably 2016 because it has dates referencing to 2015. Saito. I just love how every time you said, oh fuck, your heart rate went up like 4 beats. Deadly Sap. It was rough, man. Oh god, I'd probably cry if I tried this game in VR. Dude, I don't know how I'm gonna act with it, but I do gotta try it. I gotta at least try it. But I don't know what happened to my body at the beginning of this. But I will tell you guys one thing, and I will make you guys this promise. You know, I want to be healthy when I stream. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but, you know, where I work at, it has a nice little size. It's a little gym, but it's a nice gym. You get to do, you know, what you need to do on it. And they got an elliptical and a treadmill over there, and I really got to get, I don't want to say in shape, but I gotta be better about my health, because sitting in an office job all day, you know, my blood pressure is above average now. You know, when you get your blood pressure checked and shit, your biometrics, and well, that's not good, because then, you know, you have like, you know, whatever that is, fat deposits in your veins and stuff like that. So I gotta start breaking that shit down and getting more well, if you will. That way, you know, like, even when we get into these tense situations, you know, all that shit's not going on with your body, because I already have an elevated heart rate because of it. But and your body's trying to work harder to fend that off. So I think that exercising would allow me to get through a game like this a little easier. At least avoid some panic attacks. Maybe I'm full of shit, but at least that's kind of in the back of my mind subliminally. Since the beginning of the Resident Evil series, and this game made me feel like Resident Evil is dying out. But I'm happy that you liked it. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Fenrir. You know, the one thing I didn't like about the Resident Evil series 4 through 6 is I didn't like how it, and quote me if, you know, correct me if I'm wrong on this, but 4 through 6 they directed the storyline in a different way. It wasn't actually zombies. It was more like crazed people, wasn't it? So I kind of liked how this whole thing worked out of like a super weapon. But then again, the whole super weapon thing goes back to sort of like the Resident Evil movies, and I didn't really like the Resident Evil movies. But I did like the I don't know, maybe it's just the realism of the game. I think it was much needed. It's a precedent. I think it's more the game than it is the storyline that I enjoyed. You know what I mean? It's not really like it's not the storyline, but the game. I liked how they meshed it up there at the end and tried to explain it a little bit. But here we got Chris Redfield coming back into it. Resident Evil 4 was a mass virus. Okay, it was more zombies. Get it, Grandpa? What, 4 through 6 was more zombies? I thought it was more like a cultist type of thing. Like I said, I didn't play it, but that's at least what I got from, like... Dude, bioweapons were always the name of the game in Resident Evil. Yeah, well, sure, because even zombies were considered, like, you know, the bioweapons in a way. Like the undead and shit. WithSteve, wonder what the Mia ending is like. Dude, I would love to see the Mia ending. WithSteve, Zoe would still be at the house, right? Zoe would still be at the house. So I wonder how that would have worked. Maybe if we go back and play this in VR, we'll have to choose Mia instead. Take a boxing class, Steve. That'll sort you out. Yeah. I know that they were trying to like get different exercise like routines over at work, so we'll have to see what goes on there. Seems like this is indeed set in 2017 and is after 6. Yeah. Don't want a heart failure like me. Got a defibrillator implanted in me in the age of 34. Ouch, dude. Sorry to hear that. Well, that's what I don't want, Dr. Panda. I gotta work out. So next week I'm gonna get on that. Next week I'm gonna have gym clothes and stuff. I'm gonna take them along to work. And I'm probably gonna do like 15 minutes on the treadmill and elliptical every day. But you know, at least get myself conditioned back into like a mile run and stuff, or over a mile run, and then bump it up to like 20 minutes and 30 minutes and so. I like the virus zombie story and thought behind 4 through 6, but how they actually executed 5 and 6 was kind of underwhelming. Okay. So 4 kind of set the precedent, and they just didn't capitalize on it with their next 2 and the quote-unquote trilogy then. Every Resident Evil game is a bioweapon gone wrong. Well, this is definitely one of those situations, but... I don't know. Maybe you'll see maybe we'll see like the next. There's got to be 2 more games like this, though. There's got to be 2 more games like this if they keep this whole trilogy thing going. These trilogy packs. And the movies are a shit show on their own, dude. The movies sucked. I think the first one had a little bit going for it, but looking back on now, it looked like shit too. Do some yoga? Yeah, I hear that yoga's pretty intense. DDP yoga? Was that Diamond Dallas Page yoga? Disclaimer, I'm starting DDP yoga soon. I hear that shit kicks your ass. Do they have a barbell? Yep, they have barbell deadlifts. Work every muscle in your body pretty much. Deadlifts are one thing. 2 weeks in the hospital of tests is not fun when you find out. Great if you have a limited time. I agree with the first movie. 1 to 3 was 4 to 5 was Parasites. 6 was a mix of both. I saw the latest one. You see, this was kind of like a weird, like a biomass type of thing in this game. It wasn't really like a zombie. It was more of like a, oh, what do you call that? I don't know. It's like a synergistic type of virus in this one. It's just like a way that it rebuilds your body and shit like that, like a mutation almost, like a mutant. Has a real Wolverine kind of feel to it because the regeneration shit. I saw the latest one last night. Not a great cap on the flicks. Yeah, those are direct to. Those are like not even theaters. Those are direct to Redbox and shit. Movie is out. I want to see it. Oh, you do? Okay. It's pretty relentless. Seems like they were trying to cram a lot into the latest film. It was a fungus. Yeah, no, I know that this was a fungus and stuff, but my interpretation of it, and I know what you mean by a fungus, but the way that I'm looking at it is kind of like oh my god, why can't I think of it right now? I'm just too tired. But it has a real mutant kind of feel to it, though. You know what I mean? Like even with Daddy Baker, he was regenerating himself and shit like that. I think that, man, it's so weird. Like I'm trying to put my finger on it, even with like the woman, you know, becoming that whole spider and shit like that. Like what do you guys think about that? Like that's not just you know, some sort of biomass getting in your body, like a fungus getting into your body. Like I'm trying to find out where they were going with, you know, the different people. You know, Lucas in and of himself was just like a normal crazy guy, if you will, normal quote unquote crazy guy. Whereas his mother was a spider and his dad was this regenerating mutant type of being. I'm trying to feel where like the bridge is there between each one of those characters. I kind of see it as a Yes, that's the way that I felt about it. Because even at the end, if you go back and watch this, you'll hear me say it just felt like I was fighting immortal beings. I'm trying to take down immortal beings. It's a decent enough popcorn flick. Probably not my favorite of the series. Okay, I'll keep that. Came a couple days ago in this corner of the world. Cool. I'm a bit confused though. Who wrote the note in the mine next to the laptop? Who wrote the note in the mine next to the laptop? Was that 7-pager that I read? Pretty sure Lucas left those notes in a lab in the salt mine. Really? About watching the family and everyone. Very interesting. But Lucas was their kid. Like, they even say that Lucas was their kid because they were talking about, like, Zoe and Lucas being, like, brother and sister. Hence it was, from the references in the text, it made it sound like Mia was actually part of the experiment. It did, didn't it? Well, I think Mia became a byproduct of the experiment because she got in the way. She was supposed to be the transportation. Actually, no, she didn't get in the... She got in the way, but then also the Bakers got in the way because I think that was their tanker, wasn't it? Wasn't that their business? Note you had some tripwires and explosives in mines leading up to the lab. Yeah. Oh, was it signature? Huh. Very interesting. Okay. I thought it might have been Lucas at first, but I'm not sure. He may have been their kid, but also in on it all. Yeah, that's true. Very interesting. Yeah, well, sure. Yeah, that's a good point. Oh no. That's very cool though. Man, this leaves a little bit open, guys. This leaves a little bit open. Like, I kind of want to go back and play the DLC, but I feel like I got enough closure on it just to be like, man, this was a decent enough game, and I had fun with it. I just had fun with it. I just want to go down through here real quick, guys. I'm going to go back to talking to you guys and things like that, but I just want to say Anyanka, Sherpa Plays, Tongwin, the Arsenal 10, at Brookner. Holy shit. Jolly, writer, Kiskaloo. Thank you guys all for the donations tonight, the generous donations. Trying, well, actually, not even trying, just succeeding on the jump scares. Man, that scared the shit out of me. It's Dasp and in Res Cheat, guys. Thank you very, very much for hanging out with us tonight. That was awesome. That was awesome. It was really, really nice meeting you guys. I see that it says that Altoid Strong followed again. That's a bunch of bullshit. He's always here. You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy. WithSteve, Mia said the family thing was part of her programming, but I think Mia was kept in the dark the entire time because later on they revealed the family aspect is a side effect of being infected. So the whole thing with... Yeah, but even at the end, though, when he's not really cured, but it's doing that... It's doing that, why can't I think of words right now? The backstory. Like, they were showing the backstory. It's, oh, shit. I can't think about that. Like, the memories. Like, you know what I mean. He was cured. He wasn't even, like, sick or anything like that. The Daddy Baker wasn't even sick or anything like that. But he was talking about Lucas and Zoe being brother and sister. And I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know, but that's at least my context on it. What I mean is Mia was a part of the experiment from the beginning. She thought she was helping, but she was in it. That would be an interesting twist. That would be an interesting twist. Because the way that it made it sound is on the surface is she was just an operative, a secret agent operative, to hold on to the super weapon, which was Evelyn, with this guy named Alan, and just make sure that she got... See, here's the other thing. Why were they even on the tanker to begin with? You know what I mean? Like, where were they going? Like, where were they transporting Evelyn to? That's what blows my mind. Like, that's the questions I need answered. Next time I'll have to choose Mia. Because I don't even know how that would play out now. How would that even play out with Mia? If you chose Mia and you left Zoe behind, what would that even look like? Would the same sequence happen with the monster and shit? And then you got to keep going back through the ship? Kind of implies that Zoe may not have been related. That's true. That's very true. Yeah. Yeah, but the tanker somehow got to the Baker's farm. Did the Bakers have a farm, or were the Bakers actually operators of the ship? Because they were they on the ship? Or were... No, they weren't on the ship. They got involved when the explosion happened and the ship sank. And then people washed ashore. Need to find out who wrote that note in the mine. Okay. Good point. Because when Zoe calls you to make the call... She said, "Be careful of my mother." It was a tanker. Someone got the Bakers. Be careful of my mother. But what would that insinuate, though, Deadly Sap? Jack talking to Ethan at the end. Okay, that's his name, Jack. I keep calling him Daddy Baker. Jack talking to Ethan at the end was probably some kind of hallucinatory communication through the micellar network that is Evelyn. Yeah, because you could see that. You could see that playing a big role at the end of that game. Especially with Mia there at the end in the more realistic sense. Yeah. Like that's the one way that I could that I could also see just, I won't say dismissing it, but just putting a quick cap on it. If instead of reading into it much, I think that's just a really good really good. I don't want to even say surface skin. That's just a really good synopsis, I think, Saito, with it just being a hallucinatory communication, because that's what it seemed like Evelyn was good for. Like that's what it seemed like her weapon was getting people to have this whole Inception-like existence, if you will, of mind control and shit. They were moving the subject to a more secure facility in Central America. Okay. Same shit happens basically. Mia is the good ending when I ever see it. Well, there's a lot of people. Pitfiend, take care. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us today. Today, tonight, all of it. Coupon Dumpster has posted a new announcement. What the fuck? Oh, okay, I don't know what that means. Yeah, have a good weekend. Sleep well. Zoe's daughter, the ship came to them. Yeah, the ship came to them. You're right. The ship came to them. The Bakers just live near the shore in Dulvey, Louisiana, because in the end, every time you saw Evelyn as a child, she was not physically there. Dude, I knew that there was something really screwed up about Grandma. Why didn't Ethan just pop a cap in Grandma, like, right away? You know what I mean? Well, then again, oh, I know why. Because he was under the influence just like the rest of the family. That's why the grandma was just sitting there hanging out and she was appearing all over the place. It's because she was probably the one controlling everything. That's an interesting way. Yeah, that's probably the... Yay, you're on the menu. I am on the menu, Shadow. And we're going through it in depth, alright? I don't want to ruin anything for you, but we are definitely giving away the spoilers. Doing a recap. Dude, I miss you, buddy. I just want to say that. Shadow Reaper, I miss you, buddy. Chrome, she was right in front of you the whole time. Yeah. And I didn't suspect it until they spelled it out in the minds. Yeah, yeah. And then you could start making that capture. You could start making that connection. So the kid then was Evelyn. Okay, the kid was Evelyn. Yeah, okay. Yeah, everything's clicking for me. Yeah, pistons are firing. Oh, son of a bitch. Pistons are firing. How do we get the hell out of here? Oh, there we go. Wow. Oh my gosh, guys. It's an important part of your life in the Twilight. I know, man. I know. Well, there's a lot of people. Dude, even people that know me in real life miss that. They're like, dude, why didn't you tell us about it? I said, I didn't tell anybody about it. I wanted to make that as much of a surprise as possible without having the vulnerability of it leaking. There's like literally, probably like 4 people that I told. And it was including my mom. It was my mom, my brother. I told Soda, and my buddy over at work, Corey. That's the only. I told 4 people that I was proposing that night. And I just told the rest of the stream that I had an announcement to make on Friday. But yeah, you can watch it again on YouTube though. By the way, guys, we got all those. We got our GRs cut for the Hammerton build. By the way, I think we did. I would never told anyone. I think I got my 82, 83, and 84 cut, so you guys can go check that. Yeah, dude, it was an emotional moment. There was some behind the scenes running the experiment. They know about Evie getting older, etc. How Zoe knew about the serum and stuff, I'm not sure. Oh man, dude, this gets all twisted up, doesn't it? I really do think it was just a family put in the wrong place, you know? Because Lucas, he had everything figured out, didn't he? Like, even if he was an amateur in terms of, like little electronic projects and shit like that, like, I guess he was like his own kind of crafty kind of guy. Dude, we just went through 2 full cardia, 2 full heart rate monitors. That's crazy. Um, but no, I think Lucas. It seemed like he was a part of the family in a way, because he had his whole room and everything set up there, but like in the house and stuff. But he didn't seem like he was an expert in anything in terms of like special ops or anything in terms of being a part of the whole experiment. Oh my god. The kid was Evelyn, yeah. But like a lot of cloning experiments, she aged rapidly. Yeah. I can't lie, I love how on the surface the game is great, but then you can spend hours reading backstory. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what makes a great game too, Deadly Sap. I think that's why that's why Resident Evil 7 still has legs. In all respect for everybody else and their feelings on it. This like 2001 Space Odyssey, more questions than answers. I don't think so. I think we can draw conclusions on this. I would have never told anyone I'll go cry. I did watch it on YouTube. That's how I found out. Oh, okay. All right. Sounds good. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Zoe's knowledge of the serum is suspect. Yeah, Zoe does know about the serum. That's very, very true. Lucas was fucked up already. He killed his friend when he was young, before the bioweapon turned up. That's what the notes in his room said, right? He locked his friend up and left him to die. So yeah, I think that that's what that was going at. Like what kind of angle they were taking. Stuff I so much fun. He was in the family photos. Yeah, family photos are going to tell a lot. Then again, well, funny thing is that if we go back and look at the beginning, we're like right after we have the dinner, the supper, and we go back that hallway, and you go to that place where you got to plug in the aux on the door to open up to the main hallway. Lucas's picture is turned around. But again, if Lucas was a part of the family but also in the know, then why couldn't Zoe also be some kind of sleeper agent? Yeah, totally, 100%, 100%. Dude, yeah, you can pick up on all these nuanceful things. Let me tell you something, guys. I'm actually very, very proud of myself. Like going back through this and being able to keep this analysis in my head. Like that's how much I enjoyed this game. Like if you guys hear me talking this much about a game like this and being able to reflect on it, dude, I really enjoyed the game. I really enjoyed the game. Because any other time, like I'll just put like a cap on something and be like, yeah, it was all right. No, this for me was a really good experience. There was a sequel. There will be. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a sequel one. This, dude, I hope that they do more with like the horror aspect that they had at the beginning half of the game. I really, really do. Man, I was all kinds of fucked up. I was all kinds of fucked up. Lots of redacted keywords in those notes at the end of the game too. Yeah, that kind of draws me away from it though. With Steve, you need to go to bed, dude. Dr. Penn, I hear you, buddy. You need to go to bed. Nah, I hear that. I'll be going to bed soon. Dude, I'm going to be watching the sunrise here in a half hour. Holy shit. Dude, it's a blast hanging out with you guys. I just want to let you guys know that. With Steve, there's also the video where Lucas says he likes what is happening. He is the only ones. Why I'm blinking my eyes so much, too, is because I stare at a freaking computer screen 8 hours during the day, and then I come home and do this. And then stay up for another 10 hours. Like, no wonder I'm... Like... Let's see, there's also a video where Lucas says he likes what is happening. He is the only ones. The others want things to go back to normal. They resisted. Huh. Hence Jack and Zoe in the vision. When you're in a cocoon, sure. I don't know much about the mother. Yeah, the mother is interesting. No zombie, you kill the father because he is trying to stop you from creating a cure. Yeah. I mean, that's what it's all about. Is everybody's kind of stopping you from getting the cure. Like I think the mother was guarding. Yeah, the father was guarding the three-headed dog from being completed to go outside to then fetch the arm because Zoe had the head. So there's like everything transpired outside the house. Like you had to escape the house first. That was a big thing. He's already fully taken over this point. My control, bro. The son was psychotic before Evie. Yeah, that's the way I feel about it. I think Lucas was all fucked up. Dude, that was an awesome Saw-like puzzle, though. That was an awesome Saw-like puzzle. I very, very much enjoyed that. I very, very much enjoyed that because you go through those, and that kind of felt a little bit like Heavy Rain to me, with some of the things that the guy would, like the killer would try to rope you into doing. If you guys haven't ever played Heavy Rain, if there was a game that ever stood the test of time, that'd be it. You guys got to go back and play Heavy Rain. That's a very, very good mindfuck. But yeah, like, I felt that putting you in that situation, having those, and having that Saw-like experience of making like a really hard decision, I thought that was very interesting how it led you to the low-hanging fruit immediately that you didn't even need to go do. But then again, I think the only thing that would, the only thing I think that would trip you up if you were to go back and do it blind would be the lock that you had to unlock that says the 5-letter word. Because I don't know how you would figure that out unless you just went through the combination until you finally got it. The son was the guy before Evie, and they made that clear. Okay, I read that. I think Lucas liked it because he basically became immortal. And he would need Evie's control because he was insane to begin with. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that deadly. But I saw Resident Evil creates a shitload more water-cooler talk than any other entrance in the series yet. The whole Lucas chapter was a love note to the Saw films. Yeah, yeah. Especially a good change of game pace. Dude, if they wanted to, if Capcom wanted to, they could make a whole game on Saw if they wanted to. Like, that's how good that one puzzle was. There's always ways. There's always been a lot of mythological creatures. I'm sorry, why is it mythological creatures? There's always been a lot of mythological references in the series. Yeah, three-eyed dog is Cerberus. Yep. Cerberus. Cerberus. I'm sorry, Cerberus. Hounds of the Underworld. Wow. Yeah, yep. That's pretty cool. All right, let me cast off here, guys. Guys, much love. I'll see you on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, take care. Have a good weekend, guys, and sleep well.